This is the Book Legion Podcast, where we review thought-provoking books to give our Legionnaires the knowledge they need to dominate the next level of their life.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me on the Book Legion. My name is Ty Evans. This week I'm going to be covering Be the Man by Garrett J. White. So let's start with who Garrett White is. He lives in Orange County, California with his wife of many years, and I believe they have 4 children now. And so Garrett was in the mortgage industry back in the 2000s. So was making all kinds of money. So one of those guys that was living hard, living fast, not doing things the right way as a husband, a father, really even a business owner. Was really egotistical, just all about making money. And this is what he shares in this book, his story and his journey and why he is the way he is today and how he got there. So he ran a multi-million-dollar mortgage company. Of course, we all know what happened in 2007-2008, the mortgage crisis here in the United States, which ricocheted throughout the world economy. He pretty much lost everything, went into, had a drinking problem, had depression, ended up unfortunately cheating on his wife. A lot of things actually bad were happening to him, but because of him, right? And so he just had this pivotal moment where he had to change, and this is where he created the Wake Up Warrior Foundation, or a movement, where it's really all about how do men regain their power? How do they reclaim their power? He really talks about how the men have started to become docile. We've become weak. We've become soft. And so this whole book is about reclaiming your power for men, although it could probably apply to women in some instances as well. But this book is really for males. If you would consider yourself an alpha male, someone who's looking to become a better father, husband, coach, employee, entrepreneur, son, daughter, more spiritual. The book is geared to try to wake you up and to see how you've been conditioned by society to get to where you're at, to accept being normal, to accept doing bad things, not listening to your higher morality. So I want to talk about my 3 favorite parts of the book that stuck out to me. So the first one he talks about is being your authentic self. And in today's age where everything's social media this and social media that, and it's nothing but a highlight reel on social media of your life, he says that, and I agree with this, really the best way to gain a great following on social media is just being your authentic self. But we've masked who we really are. I think this kind of goes to a little bit, if you listen to my reviews on Debbie Ford's The Dark Side of the Light Chaser, right, and in Tim Grover's book, Winning, where it's accepting this dark side of you and embracing it and using it for fuel for the good. So many of us just want to shield that dark side away, not be our true authentic selves. But because of that, we give a fake projection of who we are. And when you start to give a fake projection, you need to start living a fake life. Start living a fake life. You start lying to yourself. You start lying to those around you that you love and you care about or you associate with. And your life just becomes a slippery slope. And that's kind of what happened with him. And so he really hones in that you have to be your authentic self, irrespective of who that is, and just really own it. So as I mentioned it in the opening, he really talks a lot about how men generationally have changed. And, I think that the part that it was interesting that he talked about, that where I felt like he was right, in the sense that we've changed generationally because men now go away to work. Before, if you really look, 100 years ago, really even up until World War II, most of the time your work was done on a farm. Right? And so your family had a little bit of land, and you farmed the land, and you tended the goats and the cows and the chickens, and you grew crops, and that was kind of your food. That was also your income. So fathers and sons worked side by side, and sons got the lessons of hard work, what it likes to get up early, work ethic, habits, routines, right? And so we were taught by our fathers and our great-grandfathers and our grandfathers, what the meaning of hard work is, an honest day's work, and what it means to have a little bit of grit. And generationally, we've lost that, right? We're raised by men, stay-at-home wives, or we're put into the nanny system, and or we're basically put into school. And so we're not raised by other men, we're raised by the system and predominantly women. And so now this is not an attack on the system or women, but he's just saying generationally, men have lost a little bit of fortitude, a little bit of grit, and we've become sedated in our reality, and we accept average because we've been sedated, because generationally the men have gotten weaker. So I thought it was a really interesting, the way I view that is, I don't know, generationally, I mean, things have just changed, right? We don't have to go out and plow fields anymore. We have tractors and machine equipment to do that, nor do I want to go out and go plow a field. But I do think there is a shift in the mindset, right? Things have become really easy for us in society today. So I think it's important to appreciate that perspective, but still make sure you're doing things like doing things that make you struggle, that make you have to overcome obstacles. Maybe it's like having a really tough gym routine. Maybe it's you start a new hobby. Maybe it's you go back to school. I think that's what he's talking about, becoming grit, like having this grit of evolving to your highest potential. That's kind of how I view it, right? Like you're evolving into becoming someone different, as opposed to just graduating high school, getting the same job that you worked for 30 years, and you never really elevate, you never really grow, you never really become anything different than a sedated average person. So he really wants you to break out of this mindset. And then the last thing that kind of couples with that is, obviously hit me hard, is that if you're authentic, you're doing things that are hard, you're taking risk, you're trying to overcome obstacles, you're challenging yourself, that's where you're going to find your greatness. That's where you're going to start to level up and become the all-around man, right? And he doesn't talk about just about making money or anything like that about business. This is about how to become the best father, how to become the best husband, how to become the best boss at work, right? How do I become the best son? How do I become the best friend? But also, how do I learn to love myself, my authentic self, through and through? And so the book is Be the Man, Stop Lying, Start Leading Today. And when you walk into your greatness, you're authentic with who you are, right? And you do things, you take risks, you get out in the world, you give it 120%, you find your greatness and you find out what you're made of. And that's what Garrett White is really encouraging you to do. And that's what the Wake Up Warrior Foundation is all about. Now, I'm not a spokesman for them. I've seen a lot of their advertisements. I've never been through the program. But the Wake Up Warrior Foundation, our movement, is really, you go spend a week with Garrett White in Orange County, California, and they run you through like PT, like you would in the Army. They break you down emotionally, and they try to build you back up as a complete man so you can be more well-rounded. You can have it all when it comes to the material possessions, but it doesn't mean you're going to go out and, because you start making money, that you're going to go out and start cheating on your wife, and are you going to be an absent father, right? It's about how do you do everything well. And I think this is too relates to me and probably hit home, because this is what 10X is all about. Grant Cardone's mentality of 10Xing everything. It's not just about 10Xing your income. That's one component to it, but it's about 10Xing all realms of your life and getting to the next level, which is why I started the Book Legion, right? We want to be able to read books like this, even if one's dedicated to men only, that help us elevate to the next rungs of our life, whether it's our finances, our spirituality, our health. In this case, it'd be more of our mindset and how we look at the overall our work-life balance, right? And are we being a good father? Are we being a good husband? Are we treating people with respect well at work? And so that's really important. So anyway, I would definitely check out the book. I think it was about $15. If you don't buy the book, which I do recommend that you do, and it'll be in the show notes, you can go right to the link and purchase it. But check out Garrett's stuff. His wife, he's also the CEO of, his wife has a hair braiding company out of Orange County. It's actually really big. One of my friends works in conjunction with them out in California, and they do a lot of really good stuff. But check out the Wake Up Warrior Foundation or movement if you're a guy and you're looking for something different and you feel like you need to get put back on track. Might be a great resource for you. So thanks so much, you guys, for listening to the podcast. If you could, go ahead and subscribe, drop me a 5-star review, let me know what you think of it. Makes it easier for other people to find with reviews. You can find me online at the book club, online at the Book Legion, and also we have a website, thebooklegion.com. If you want to link up there, let me know any recommendations of books. Thanks so much. Look forward to talking to you guys soon.